Jason broke that story while he was in Madison covering this story.
He is the hardest working guy in politics.
Great JayCalvi, who we talk to a lot.
We've been speaking to voters here really as a temperature check, as a barometer for the state.
He kind of went through the checklist of all of the things with his Midwestern credentials. That's why you're seeing a lot of emphasis from both campaigns on Western Wisconsin. But when police got here, the suspects were gone. Secret Service is working on a response to our story. If you live or work down here, if you drive through, you can expect some security restrictions. They're soon going to be moved to block the entrances. Would you veto a national abortion ban if it reached your desk as president?
I'm not signing a national abortion ban.
But the people in Wisconsin think that Donald Trump's going to do better on the economy.
It came from Biden. It's a Biden trial to try and
if there's
keep it
evidence
up.
of that, he was involved with this. President Biden won the primary. Why is he not the nominee? What do you say to those criticisms you're hearing from the right?
President Biden and Vice President Harris won the primary. President Biden...
Kamala Harris was not on that ticket, was not on the primary ballot. We're hearing from both the Wisconsin Democrats and the Biden campaign, both of them telling me tonight that they're going to be pulling all of their ads right now. So this is a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter flying over the Summerfest grounds. This was always, you're going to always see helicopters. We do have one of those results right here, North Carolina going red, but the other swing states, including Wisconsin, right now, too close to call.
What do you think, Jason? Is a T-shirt going to be ripped on national TV tonight?
We've been taking lots of bets this
I don't
week.
know that you can rip a suit. I don't know that he's going to be able to
it's
rip
Hulk
the suit,
Hogan,
but it is
though.
Hulk Hogan. It was like the lady we just interviewed over there. She uses something as simple as a thumbtack, and look at that. Boom, boom.
In a state that's used to razor-close elections.
It's going to be interesting to see the outcome of this one.
A likely 2020 rematch is coming at a fast clip.
I think it may go the other way this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. Something Trump doing. He got a strong supporting group behind him.
The latest Marquette Law School poll finds Donald Trump and Joe Biden again tied among Wisconsin's registered voters.
I'm not excited. I know it's just something you have to do. You gotta vote.
At Quez Creations Barbershop on the north side, people are willing to stick their necks out on politics.
Trump or Biden for you personally right now?
I'm up in the air.
I'm voting for Joe.
The number of people voting in Milwaukee County took a sharp cut after 2012 when President Barack Obama was last on the ballot. Comparing 2012 with 2020, he saw 33,000 fewer voters.
And that's more than what separated the last two presidential winners from the losers.
It's our constitutional right to the vote. I wanted to exercise my right.
On the issues, the new Marquette poll finds registered Wisconsin voters favor Trump on the economy and immigration, and Biden on health care and abortion.
If they can discuss health care, oh yeah, that's real important for me.
As the city, state, and nation decide who makes the cut. JayCalvi, Fox 6 News. With his political future on the line,
I am running and going to win again.
President Joe Biden tries to rebound.
I'm staying in the race.
He makes that pledge in a 15-minute speech at Sherman Middle School in the Democratic stronghold Madison, 1 week after a debate Democrats called devastating.
When you get knocked down, you get back up. I'm not letting one 90-minute debate wipe out 3.5 years of work.
After last week's debate, some Democrats suggested the president should step down from the race. We spoke before the rally with Biden supporters.
Do you think he's up for the challenge of running in the fall?
I think I'm undecided on that component, but support the party as a whole and think there are some great options, whether Biden and the cabinet that he's surrounded himself with continues to go forward.
The debate performance was concerning, but anyone can have an off day.
Yeah, I'm supporting him, but I was a little worried after the debate.
After the rally, Luke Pearson said he was reassured.
I was happy to see him so strong and definitive.
Across the street, we found Dex, who said he won't vote for Biden.
He's too old, man. I don't know, I just feel like we need somebody better, though. Somebody who's able to speak for themselves.
The president tried to calm fears, rallying hundreds.
Because we're going to win Wisconsin.
Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde has not yet conceded, and he says there were, quote, voting inconsistencies.
Certain voting precincts in Milwaukee having turnout of over 150%,
of registered voters, and in some cases over 200%.
In fact, the unofficial Milwaukee County results did show Wauwatosa Ward 8B had voter turnout of 249%. Turns out, the county flipped the registered voters with Ward 8A, a mistake that did not impact the vote totals. And the county says it flipped registered vote numbers in Franklin, Ward 14. It initially showed turnout of 183%.
Total ballots cast and total registered voters in the city remained the same.
But what about Milwaukee Ward 335? It hit 148% voter turnout, and Ward 187 topped 118%. Both are inside Marquette's campus.
I think this was a pretty important election for everybody.
Parker Gugala lives at Marquette and saw the large turnout as he waited in line an hour just to register.
I think a lot of the social media has been going crazy covering the election, so kids are seeing that and then they're wanting to put their own voice out there.
And they waited till election day to do it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's Ward 186 had 126% turnout. It includes more Marquette housing. Ward 126 had 115% turnout. It's the UW Milwaukee campus. And then there's the City Ward 158 with 105% turnout. That's MSOE.
Voters are being inactivated as they move. And so going into Election Day, we had very accurate poll lists. And then on Election Day, anyone who had moved and hadn't updated their registration, you frequently see it around campuses like UWM and Marquette with dorms. Those voters are going to register on Election Day.
So how can the voter turnout be higher than 100%? The numbers come from registered voters before polls open. And Wisconsin law allows people to register to vote on Election Day.
This is completely normal. It happens every year. Anyone who pays attention to elections in Wisconsin knows this.
Marquette Lubar researcher John Johnson says trends were repeated across the state.
Hovde did a little bit worse than Trump just about everywhere, with the exception of the WOW counties.
When all the votes were counted, Wisconsin elected a Republican for president and a Democrat for U.S. Senate. Now, another issue Eric Hovde brings up is the third-party candidates that won 71,000 votes in Wisconsin, more than the difference between Hovde and Baldwin. The AP reported Democrats did recruit one of those candidates who ran with the party name America First. That man, Thomas Leager, says he was lied to as he was recruited. Most recent polls are now showing about 1% of the state of Wisconsin right now undecided in the presidential race, and that is all it's going to take really to flip this state when you look at those past elections being decided by less than 1 percentage point.
Yeah, and given that dynamic, Jason, how does either campaign try to persuade that 1%, that remaining 1%, if they know they're not making up their minds until sort of the last minute?
Yeah, one of the things we heard from our panelists was the value of talking to their family and friends. When I asked them, okay, you're still undecided, you're only a few weeks away from Election Day, what are you going to do? How are you going to make up your minds? What they said was they're going to have serious conversations with their loved ones who maybe have studied the issues and researched the candidates and right now have a stake on either side. But then you have family and friends that are split, and it makes it, again, like we heard from these candidates or these panelists, maybe making up their decision that very last day when they go to the polls.
So maybe Harris and Trump need to rely on their friends and family to convince this last 1%. Okay,